Another update for you from the president of the Quincy City Council, Councilor at Large, Noel DeBona. Hi, Noel. How are you today?
Good morning, Joe. Good to see you or hear you.
I appreciate these updates after the meetings. I think they're very helpful, and it's a great way to kind of summarize what took place. And it looks like a lot of conversation last night around the new police station.
Yes, they're coming in with a $23 million new appropriation. Obviously, the construction costs have gone up a little bit over the last year to 2 years with the COVID and the supply and demand out there. So they came in front of us, Granite City Partners, as well as Suffolk Construction, which is the GC for the project up at the Public Safety Headquarters Police Station. And they came in front of us and gave us great information. They did some modifications for some funding, which brought the price down. I know I'd sat down with the mayor a few weeks ago and said, I talked about it last night, the bottom line, TBL. He says it's going to be less than 30 million, but it's going to be more than 20. And the sweet spot was 23 million. So it was a little bit lower than that average of 20 to 30. So there was a little bit of a debate about the pricing and what's going on with possibly modifications and the future of that existing structure that's up there right now.
Was there any vote taken, Noel?
There wasn't a vote taken, and the reason being is we were short a couple of counselors. There was only 7 present. Dave McCarthy and Brian Palmucci were not present at the meeting. As you know, a lot of these bond appropriations, they're a super majority, so you need 6 votes. And as the finance chair, Board 5 counselor Chuck Phelan decided to not have a vote last night. But we got a lot of teeth into the 23 million, and a lot of questions had been they're gonna come back to us with some of the questions that we did have that weren't answered last night. So we'll come back at it probably in November 14th or the 21st, which is our next 2 meetings. Obviously, we don't have a meeting on we have an election on the 8th of November. So we pushed out another week. So November 14th and then 21st, we'll back-to-back weeks. And in one of those meetings will be the finance to bring this back out and for a discussion.
Okay.
And I would most likely think a vote.
How do you yourself feel about it, Noel?
I feel about it is, we have to build a new public safety headquarters. It's a need for the city. The police officers have been in that, I would call it decrepit Band-Aid of a building. When they first built it, they cut a lot of corners, and from the get-go, they had a lot of modifications within the scope of building it, and they just didn't build it up to par. We don't want to go down that road again. We want this thing to last 60 to 100 years. And you got to do it right. You get, one shot at the apple, one bite at the apple. And I feel that, with construction costs going up, this will be it probably. I think the counselors and I think the administration knows that this 23 million, you got to do it in this 23 million. Can't come back to the council and ask for more funding. So I'm in support of it because of the reasons being of it. When they first did a lot of the estimates, the construction costs were a little bit lower, and now they went up over the last 1.5 to 2 years with the COVID. So that's all across the board. That's everywhere you go. I'm just concerned with the interest rates going up. When we were bonding in the last few years, we really hit some sweet spots, especially that pension bond liability. We really got some good rates on those. Our rate's going to go up. So I'm concerned with that aspect of it, my long-term debt. So I'm concerned with bonding in the future. That's my main concern. 23 million for the public safety headquarters, I'm going to go with it. Future bonding appropriations, if it's not a need, I'm not going to be for it. If it's a need, I'm going to be for it. If it's a want, I'm probably going to be trying to cut it or not be for it. So, we got to be more cognizant going into this next year with a possible recession coming, and obviously the rates just climbing. Your 30-year fixes are up at 37%. A year ago, they were 3%. It's a big jump. So we have to be cognizant of housing market, interest rates, inflation, and all these other things. So these other intangibles have changed my mind for other items. So I'm gonna go for this one. I'll be voting in the affirmative and yes for this.
Okay, very good. I see that Commissioner of Natural Resources gave a big update on so many things that department's involved in.
Yes, we're doing a series. I've been doing, as council president, I've been doing a series of department heads and commissioners coming in. Al Grossi also came in a few weeks ago with his DPW update. He did a great job. And now we have Natural Resource Commissioner Murphy that have come in, talked about a lot of the projects that we had done in the capital improvement plan. He had talked about a lot of ongoing projects and then upcoming projects. So we have a lot that we've finished. We have a lot in the pipeline that are being built now. And then we have stuff that will be coming in the future. He did a great presentation, a nice PowerPoint that's on QATV. Thank you for coming in, and Mark Crosby. I got you in the morning. I got Mark Crosby at night. So for coming in and putting this on YouTube where the folks can watch this at any time. And if they want to look at the updates that Natural Resources and Commissioner Murphy have done, it's a great presentation. Also, the Community Preservation Committee, which I'm a board member. I've been in for the last 7 years. I've been the City Council's representative. And before Commissioner Murphy was on the Natural Resources Commissioner, he was on the board with me on the Community Preservation. So we had voted on a lot of those projects. For instance, the 24 playgrounds that we did across the city. So there are some bonding issues in the bonding that was done inside the Community Preservation Committee and funded through that. There was also some earmarks that were done from the state delegation, which helps out. And we're always trying to piggyback off of funding of CPC and state funding for the state funding was Ron Mariano did some stuff over at Daniel, it's not called Daniel Webster anymore. It's called Point Webster School, right in the little area that I went to school with. They put a nice, call it field turf on there for the playground area. So it's a great job.
Very good. Let's see here. Next item was the home rule petition regarding the lease for Quarry Hills.
Yeah, a lot of those went into ordinance. That the Quarry Hills lease extension went into ordinance committee, so we had no discussion on that. And we also had a land abatement. Well, it's an abandonment, really, basically on Lincoln Ave, which is basically at 231 South Central. That went into ordinance committee, so we really didn't have a discussion. Last night was really overruled with the 23 million bonding for the public safety headquarters and the natural resources. So those will go into committee and they will be brought out into ordinance committee at some point.
Okay, very good. That was all I saw on the agenda. Anything else that you'd like to mention, Noel?
No, that the weather is obviously turning, Joe, and the it's getting a little darker a little earlier. So we're going into transitional period outside. It's good. We've had some rain. We had a really drought summer. So it's good to see some of these grasses and trees coming back. And we're just looking forward to into the fall and hope the kiddos have a good Halloween. I probably won't be back on for a few weeks. Obviously, we have our statewide elections on November 8th. So hope people go out and vote. And, we're just getting ready, obviously, unfortunately, for the possible snow in the winter. So we're going into a transitional period. We only have 4 council meetings left before we get into the new year. So November 14th to 21st. And then in December, we got December 5th and December 19th. And we'll be on for more discussions, Joe.
Okay, so we'll catch up with you on the November 15th, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
All right, appreciate it, Noel. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much, Joe. You take care. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.